Let's talk about technology here. Give me three or four mistakes that a founder generally make when they start thinking about or start building product or platform for older generation or age tech. What are those three or four mistakes that they should not commit or do while they are thinking about a product or they are already building something for that age group?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's really tragic because a lot of founders in age tech have a personal story that they needed a solution for and they want to give other people the solution, right? So they went through something hard and they built a solution. But what made the trap becomes in how do you get it to market? Who's gonna pay for this? Who's the user? Who's the buyer? And it becomes very complex when you're dealing with age tech. One of the challenges, older adults do not have a lot of money, and they're very often not the buyer of this sort of assistive technology.
Welcome to the show. Technology has connected the world for more than ever before, yet millions of older adults are experiencing deeper loneliness, isolation, and disconnection than ever before. Today, my guest is Costin Tuculescu. Believe one of the biggest untapped opportunities in technology isn't just productivity or AI automation, it is restoring human connection, and I truly believe in that. As the CEO of OnScreen, you have a beautiful t-shirt there, yeah. He is building a TV-based communication platform and AI-driven companionship solutions, helping seniors to stay connected with families, caregivers, and the world around them. Beyond building companies, he has also been active in the startup ecosystem as an angel investor and advisor. He has been mentoring a lot of companies and supporting founders and backing bold ideas with real world impact. Today, we are going to talk about the age tech, loneliness, AI companions, startup innovation, and what investors are increasingly looking for a meaningful technology company. Welcome to the show, Costin.
Hey, Anshuman, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here. It's great to see you.
Good. So, Costin, let's go back to the origin. From where did you come to US, and tell me a little more about your early education and your activities that you did in your home country.
Yeah, absolutely. You could tell from my last name there, Tuculescu. It's a Romanian name, and this is a fun trivia fact for your audience. Any Escu is going to be Romanian, but
Ah,
not all Romanians are Escus. But I found all the Escus are Romanian. So, yeah, I was born in Bucharest, Romania, and I came to the United States in 1987 at the age of 9. And Romania was still a communist country at that time. I always like to tell my friends I didn't have my first banana until I was like 7 years old. And to have my first banana, me and my family, we waited in like a 4 hour long line in the middle of the winter, in the middle of December. The line went on like 6 city blocks, and we got a bunch of bananas. And they were bright green, and it took 2 more weeks before I could enjoy the bananas that we waited in line for. So that was communist Romania for me growing up. And my father escaped Romania during the regime. And we were fortunate enough to get a visa to be able to come to California. We came to Los Angeles, and I was living in Huntington Park and Southgate. And then eventually, I was fortunate enough to get into a math and science high school based on the lot of Dominguez Hills over in Carson. So this math and science high school afforded me opportunity to really focus on that, but also focus on computers. I was able to take college courses while I was in high school, so really accelerated education. And then I went into UC Irvine with a computer science degree. Loved it. I loved coding. I loved just the internet was just coming up at the time. It was an incredible time. And yeah, that's how I got into tech and where we are today, just a coder.
well,
So,
what a story. Waiting in line for hours and days just to have a banana. From there to becoming an angel investor. What a story.
It's a good arc, it's a good life arc there. And
So
yeah, and
that,
just yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and in Romania at that time, a shipment of food would only come like once or twice a month, and so that's why the lines were so crazy. And I think it really helps to frame to maybe your viewers why some immigrants really see this country as such an amazing place of opportunity, and it's an opportunity that shouldn't be wasted to be able to live in this country and take advantage of everything that the country has to offer. Because I still truly believe this is the greatest country in the world.
Me too. I'm an immigrant from India, and this country has treated me so well. All the happiness, wealth that I have created so far is because of the hard work and how America rewards your hard work.
That's
And
right.
here it is opportunity for everyone. Otherwise, you coming from Romania, me coming from India, had no opportunity. I don't know if any other country gives you such equal opportunities to succeed in life.
Yeah, I think that's it. And hard work, it gets it done. If you're grinding it out 120 hours a week, you're gonna make something happen.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's talk about the age tech that you are building, Costin. The loneliness epidemic that is happening in America. Give me some numbers. How did this idea came to you, and why are you building this?
Yeah, sure. So, in general, at the high level, there's lots of statistics out there that show that about 40% of seniors are lonely and isolated. And there's about 60 million seniors in the US. It also tends to skew as we get older. There's about 22 million 75 plus year olds, 12 million 80 plus year olds. And the older we get, the harder it is to stay connected, to have access to resources, and to manage your own healthcare, etc. During COVID, this became very obvious because the whole world moved to video calling and video conferencing and Zoom and FaceTime, and we were all doing it. That's all we had, but at least
Mm-hmm.
I remember having Zoom calls with my friends. But one thing we haven't talked about is part of my entrepreneurial journey is back in 2011, I started a company called anymeeting.com. And
Mm-hmm.
anymeeting.com was a video conferencing company. And so I've been working in video conferencing and collaboration for over 20 years. And in 2017, that company was acquired by a really great company called Intermedia out of San Jose. And I had been working for them to get any meeting scaled up for their organization. But when COVID came and everybody now is doing FaceTime and video calls, I felt like, why can't we use the biggest and best screen that we own? 60-inch screen in the middle of our living room. We could just sit on the couch. Why can't we use that for communication? I didn't know anything about age tech, didn't know anything about older adults. I just wanted the Jetsons or Star Trek. I wanted that future to be in my life already, to use these great screens. So ended up building an MVP
Mm-hmm.
and tinkering with it, and we put it on Amazon, me and some co-founders. And what we found was people in their 40s and 50s were buying it for their parents in their 70s, 80s, and 90s because those folks struggled with FaceTime, they struggled with technology, and I had no idea this was happening. I wasn't thinking about them at all. I was thinking I was going to use it with friends and family. So when those customers were reaching out to us and saying, "Hey, we bought your TV video calling thing, but it's too difficult for my mom to use," because
Mm-hmm.
we weren't building it for mom, right?
Right.
We had this user experience where your phone would ring and you would answer and it would pop up on the TV. It was pretty cool. But mom or someone with dementia may not have a smartphone, right? So we worked with these customers. We listened to all their challenges, all the problems that they had with our product. It was like, this is fascinating. And we made it work for them so that
Mm-hmm.
after a few weeks, they came back to us. It's like, oh my God, I set this up at my mom's senior living. I went home, I called her, and boom, her TV turned on, and there I was on her TV, and she was so happy to be able to see me and talk to me. And that was such a rewarding experience to hear that this woman, they're locked down, she's in a memory care facility, um, doesn't get to see anybody. All of a sudden, she could see her children and grandchildren in life size on her TV. And so that became the mission. That the mission of OnScreen is to support folks that have challenges with technology and cognitive challenges, and as we age, make that process easier. So yeah, and by the way, this is it. This is the
Oh, okay.
OnScreen with the OnScreen Joy TV. It goes right on top of a TV, and you could do video calls. It also has Joy, our AI companion, who can check in and make sure you've taken your medication. She can tell you jokes. She can search the web for you, all kinds of cool stuff. We've got text reminders. We've got photo galleries. So we basically created that platform to turn the TV into something that can support seniors.
Yeah,
So
so one thing I feel that it could have been a very simple app going on your phone, but I see, and my mother is 83 years old. She lives in India. She is very active though, so God bless her. At times the phone will get discharged because it has only limited amount of battery life, right?
yeah,
And you know, but here on the TV with this equipment, it will never be uncharged, right? it
that's
it has a
right.
continuous power supply available
Yeah.
to the parents. Let me ask you one question: can this product be shipped to anywhere in the world, and will it be working with any type of smart TV?
So it can be shipped anywhere in the world, and wherever there's internet, it'll work. And in fact, we have this great customer, great testimonial. He was a young gentleman in his 30s from India, and he was an only child, and he had moved to America, but his mother still lived in India. He bought our product, we shipped it to him. He flew to India, set it up for his mother, and then he calls his mother every day, and she gets to see him big on the TV. And yeah, I get all these questions all the time, like, why do I need this? Obviously I could do FaceTime, I could do Zoom. Well, if you're asking those questions, you don't understand the problem, right? There's 6 million people in the U.S. living with dementia, with a dementia diagnosis. It's believed that there's at least twice as many more that are undiagnosed, right? So in the U.S., it's a meaningful problem. Worldwide, it's also multiple bigger. Plus the trend, the aging trend, the over 60 population is going to double in the next 2 decades. So there's this coming silver tsunami where we're going to need more tools, more capabilities to support the aging population. There's not enough young people, and AgeTech is seen as the way to address this. Using the TV is just one way, using AI, using robots, using smart homes. There's just a lot of different innovators working on this problem right now, and I think it's an exciting, really exciting space to be in.
Yeah, with the TAM that you have just identified, it certainly makes sense for innovators to build something in the age tech or something for the age tech industry.
Yeah,
Your product uses AI also, a AI companion, which can tell jokes, which can tell you the weather, which can
yeah.
help you search the internet, and much more. Give me some more real life experiences that your product is being used as a companionship. Like the AI interface in there is more for companionship, assistance, care support. How you have productized it, the AI component in your product?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go a little bit through the founder evolution as I started
Yeah.
to learn about the space, right? So I didn't know too much about the space. I also don't come from a world where, like, I've worked in TVs my whole life. I haven't. I've worked on the internet, SaaS, B2B. I certainly do know a lot about webcams and microphones because I've been doing video conferencing for 20 years, and that's a lot of troubleshooting people's cams and microphones. But we built this beautiful product for the TV, but then as a founder, you're trying to go fundraise. Well, what's the first thing investors are going to tell you? They're going to oh, hardware? You're building hardware? Hardware is hard. 8 or 9 out of 10 investors are going to be like, no hardware, thank you. And I also saw the friction for users. If you want to hook this up to the TV, you need to be able to install a Roku. And when you think about who can install Rokus, maybe, I don't know, 40% of the population can install a Roku. Otherwise, you're going to get Best Buy to install, maybe 60%, but still, it's not hooking up the HDMI and, getting behind the TV. Some people are nervous about that. So I said, what can we do to help more people eliminate the need for hardware, make it even easier? So we took all the software we made for this product and made it available for tablets. So now we have a tablet called the Joy tablet that we don't sell hardware. You can just take any iPad, any Android, load our software on it. Now it's a dedicated device to help you check in on mom and make sure that mom's doing okay. So we again have the Joy AI companion there. We have the easiest video calls there. We have medication reminders, a photo gallery. So then we had the tablet. Then we're like, can we make it even easier? No Wi-Fi required, no devices required whatsoever. Well, I think as of late 2025, voice AI has matured to the point where it's there. You can have a real-time conversation with AI, and we built a telephone-based AI that can just call a senior and check in with them and say, hey, have you taken your medication? How do you feel today? Is there anything you need? So now we have these 3 consumer products that can engage seniors through whatever is the best modality. If you want to have video calls, you're going to need a TV or a tablet. But if you just want somebody to feel supported, they just need a telephone. So now the real world use cases become the family buys this for mom, and she can have Joy call mom to remind her to take her medication. Talk to mom about her garden. All these things that, if you're 45 or you're 50 years old, mom's 80, you probably also have teenagers or kids in college. And you're probably in your career and your hair is on fire, right? So you can't call mom 2-3 times a day. But now Joy can. So we've seen customers, they set Joy up to call. And the customers, they talk to Joy for half an hour. They talk to Joy for an hour a day, just about their interests, things that they like, and Joy, we've built her to have memory of all the conversations. She knows about your interests, and she learns your interests and keeps, bringing them up and seeing how those are developing. And the family is also able to get summaries of every conversation. They're able to see transcripts of every call. So Joy sort of becomes this additional support that a family can buy for their loved one. So
Amazing.
Really fascinating stuff. We're just seeing how can we use AI to support seniors, and we're building it. Every month we're releasing something new. So it's pretty wild.
Thanks, Costin, for that answer. Many of my viewers are active angel investor, and the majority of my viewers are startup founders, where they want to learn from funded startup founders and angel investor about angel investing, how to raise funds and whatnot. Let's talk about technology here. Give me 3 or 4 mistakes that a founder generally make when they start thinking about or start building product or platform for older generation or age tech. What are those 3 or 4 mistakes that they should not commit or do while they are thinking about a product or they are already building something for that age group?
Yeah. Well, it's really tragic because a lot of founders in age tech have a personal story that they want they needed a solution for, and they want to give other people the solution, right? So they went through something hard and they build a solution. But what made the trap becomes in, how do you get it to market? Who's going to pay for this? Who's the user? Who's the buyer? And it becomes very complex when you're dealing with age tech. One of the challenges, older adults do not have a lot of money, and they're very often not the buyer of this sort of assistive technology. It's usually, like if you're building a consumer product, it's usually the adult child, right? But even then, you get in a situation where the adult child buys it, the parent rejects it, and then your product is rejected. So one mistake is not thinking through all the players. There's all these different players that contribute to the success of your product. So user, buyer, payer, you have to have that whole thing mapped out. There's a really great expert out there. I'm just going to give her a shout out, and maybe you can put it in the notes. Her name is Karen Etken. She calls herself the Gero Technologist, and she's got a podcast about age tech. She's written a book on age tech. So if you're a founder, you're trying to get into age tech, you should definitely follow Karen Etken and learn a lot from her. She knows way more than I do.
Great. Okay. So basically identifying the ICP for a age tech, even though the users are older people, but the decisions are being made by a little bit younger generation from the
possibly
users.
Or the decisions, maybe you're building a product and you want to sell it to a healthcare plan, right? Like maybe it needs to be Medicare reimbursable, maybe it needs to be a Medicare Advantage benefit. All of those, like if you're trying to do any one of those two, it's going to take like 2 years to close a sales cycle with those. So you have to make sure you know the timelines and the people. You got to have those connections. A lot of those industries are very hard to get in without the connections.
Right.
Yeah.
So now in this phase, let's talk about the startup building and angel investing. So you have spent years and years, Costin, building startups and also investing in them.
Yeah.
What are the 3 or 4 traits that you constantly look for before backing a founder? Clarity, resilience, execution ability, fire in the belly. What are those 3-4 things that you certainly look for in a founder before making investment decision or backing them up as a mentor?
Yeah. Well, I personally like dealing with transparent people.
Okay.
People that are transparent, and they don't just tell you the good, they give you some of the bad. They admit their mistakes. One quality I appreciate in people is self-deprecating. When people can laugh at themselves. Not so serious that, you can never make a mistake. I'm all business all the time. I personally like a human founder that is not a vision of perfection. So, because we all have flaws. We all know that it doesn't matter who you are, you have unanswered questions and you have struggles, no matter who you are, whatever level. So I like to operate with founders that are honest about that. Secondly, I gotta see a lot of energy and a lot of passion and a lot of expertise and a lot of curiosity. So all of those things tells me that this person's going deep and deep and deep, and they're becoming the expert of this thing. It's even better when they're also recognized within their industry, or they come from a place where they've been working on this problem one way or another for 5, 10, 15 years. I had some friends and they had an idea about an AI company they wanted to build. And I told them, I'm like, why are you the founders to solve this? When clearly the founders for this are people who have been working at this company or this company or this company, which is much closer to the space. So you need to have that deep expertise and background and knowledge. And thirdly, I'll say when I talk to a founder, I want to know that they're thinking at least 3 to 5 years out, at least high level. Is this going to be a $2 million company, $20 million, $200 million, or $2 billion? And just show me at a very high level how you get there, right? So if someone's talking about making 2 million in 3 years, it's a lifestyle business, very comfortable. It's not even the right thing, and they that's cool, but it's not going to be fundable. No one's really going to put money in a $2 million revenue business 3 years from now.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that the founder is very clear and that they know their path 3 to 5 years out.
Great, thanks. Many founders come and pitch to me. I do 2 pitch events every month on second and fourth Thursday of the month, and there are founders, one from Asia, one from US, one from the Middle East or Africa. These type of founders will come and pitch to us. And many a times I see that founders are pitching the features and not the business or the real problem.
Yeah.
From you being an investor and your perspective, what separates a startup idea worth backing from the one that isn't? Real pain point, market demand, founder insight, traction. What do you take it?
Yeah. Well, I think that last point that I was talking about, like, if you're lacking a slide in there that shows me how big this business is going to be, that's a big problem, right? So you got to have that. Then you need to understand also the TAM that's going to feed you. Like, okay, do you need to get 10% of this market, 1%, 30%, right? Like, what are your aspirations of this market? And you really need to understand that TAM aside from the cool widget that you're building. And then back to what we were saying earlier, the ICP, knowing who's going to buy it, what problem it solves for them, how much they're going to pay for it, how long they're going to keep it for, what's the lifetime value, then even having done some work around what's your acquisition cost. Do you have any idea whatsoever what it'll take to acquire a customer at scale? You got to show that a little bit. It's so easy now to go on Meta, put $1,000 in there, run some ads, and see what kind of interest you can generate with $1,000. And then you can at least have a slightly more educated conversation. So looking for those things.
Yeah. Give me 3 mistakes that you have found in early stage founders when they are pitching to angel investor. I'll give you mine, 1 or 2.
Yeah.
One is weak storytelling, and the second one, the biggest one, is not completing their pitch in the allocated time. They will keep giving you examples about the business problem or the solution or the features, and they will even forget to put in or talk about how much they are raising, how they are raising, is it a safe, is it a equity, and whatnot. So what have been your experience when founders are pitching to you?
I got one, and this one I was a little vocal about on LinkedIn. This was at the Survivor event. When founders read their pitch.
Yeah.
Kiss of death. That you cannot read your pitch, So don't do it, founders. Don't read the pitch. You got to go in there passionate, and you got to know your stuff. Another big mistake. I think no understanding of valuation metrics. Like some very early founders, young founders, bless their hearts. It's great that they're out there, and they should be out there, and we should help them. But, we're raising $5 million for 5% of the company. Like, you're not going to get $100 million valuation, buddy. So just, not at all being grounded in reality for what they're raising and what they need and all of that.
Yeah. So true. Thank you for those pointers. AI, human connection, and the future. There is a growing concern, Costin, that AI is going to weaken the human relationship. We have been addicted to the phone and the small screen. We spend time in there. And now with conversational AI coming in, Now they can be your companion all over the place. They
Yep.
don't react, they don't bite, they don't shout at you.
Yep.
What do you think AI can actually strengthen the human connection, or it is going to weaken it? With the emotional support, family engagement, accessibility that the AI brings to the table, and uh, they are available to you 24 by 7. What is your thought process?
That's such a big one, by the way, because sometimes I'll have a long drive and I like to either listen to audiobooks. So from lowest value to highest value when I'm driving, I'm listening to music, low level. Then I'm listening to an audiobook, and then I'm talking to my AI, and then I'm talking to a human being. That's my use of time value, right?
Right.
But talking to a human being, you have to have scheduled it. If I'm driving at 10 a.m. in the morning on a Tuesday, people are in meetings, I'm not going to be able to get a hold of someone. But that AI, it's always available. It's always ready to talk to me and always support me. And I find myself during these drives now, I'm strategizing with the AI, I'm creating task lists. It's a phenomenal like assistant, right? So it's going to weaken definitely need for executive assistants or things like that. It'll create these lists. But I also see it for the youth, for young people, it could get in the way of creating real relationships and real like emotional resiliency. Like when you're trying to make a friend and it's hard, or when you have a disagreement with a friend and you're not getting along, you may not need to learn how to repair that relationship because an AI, you never have to repair it and it's always there. And it may weaken our social skills. And, I've got a 10-year-old who in kindergarten, they did kindergarten on tablets, right? Because it was COVID and that's all it was. And his entire fifth grade class, they all kind of have some social challenges. It's been a turbulent fifth grade year for this class that was like the COVID kindergarten class. So there's definitely like negatives that we have to look out for. But I also have a vision where how AI can be very positive for seniors. For seniors, it's going to be very challenging to create new friendships. It's a limited social circle and getting smaller all the time. Limited motivation on the side of the seniors. Like, I don't, like my dad doesn't want to make any new friends. He's good. But AI can come in and continuously support them and bring them interesting things, keep their brain sharp, support them with things like medication refills and doctor's appointments and understanding a diagnosis. It can absolutely be this supportive assistant slash caregiver. And our vision with Joy, which is our AI companion across all of our products, we're hoping that as we get more seniors talking to Joy, Joy will eventually connect people in real life. So for example, I live in Tustin. If a couple of people in Tustin are talking to Joy and they both like chess, we want Joy eventually to say, hey, you guys can go meet at a park and play chess with each other. And that's a way to form real human connection that was, transacted by AI. That's our vision, to create real human matchmaking, real human connection through Joy.
Great. Costin, you have spent a lot of time in the age tech. What do you see happening in the market? Where are the opportunities? AI assisted communication tool that you have, engagement, independence. What other areas in the age tech where you see that there is a real opportunity? Why I'm asking you this, because there are many a times wannabe founders who are looking for great ideas and mentor who can help them and understand it better, because they are good at building and they can build anything.
Yeah.
What are those areas in the age tech where you see there is still an opportunity which exists?
Well, there's another area that we're pursuing, and that's on the B2B side. On the B2B side, there's still a lot of inefficiencies and caregiver shortages in senior living communities and assisted living communities because all the staff is stretched really thin. Okay, there's just not enough staff to go around to support all of the aging population. So we ourselves, we've identified opportunities where we've got our Joy being an AI voice agent, handling phone calls, automating workflows, even potentially doing employee onboarding and supporting employees. I think looking at the B2B side of AgeTech, there's big opportunities there. There's opportunities around healthcare and health plans, creating Medicare solutions. Also, the majority of people, they want to age at home. Okay, they don't want to move to senior living, and also senior living is too expensive for the majority of people. So creating solutions that make the home easier to age in and make the home smart and make the home safe, those are all big opportunities. There's a lot of like fall detection, fall monitoring, fall prevention technology that can be built. Nothing standardized. Nobody owns a whole market on fall prevention. So I think entrepreneurs can look at falls as a very unsolved thing. And making the home safer for aging.
Right. Yeah. Great thoughts. The hard truth for a technology founder, what are the, or somebody who is building a meaningful technology company, a brutal, honest truth from you that they should and should not do? If somebody asks me a question like this, generally my answer is they should be solving a real problem. It shouldn't be that the problem exists in their head and they feel that this is the next thing from a loaf of bread. What are your thoughts on that? Because there are founders, generally they don't have a mentor, they don't have an advisor, they spend their time, money, and effort in trying to build something, and then there is no buyer for it. So what those hard truths are?
Yeah, and these are hard truths that I have lived myself. So here's one. Nobody cares about the tech. They care about the problem that you're solving, and you have to be able to put it in front of the right decision maker. You have to have the right relationships, the right network, the right connections, where when you're taking your technology, you show up as a trusted, credible founder, not just some guy knocking on the door, right? So you really, especially in age tech, in healthcare, it's somewhat more relationship based than other industries. So you do need to have connections and warm intros. So if you're just a tech founder, you gotta find a co-founder that might have those things to bring to the table.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Costin, for giving me the time and this opportunity to talk to you about ONSCREEN, the AgeTech, the founders who are going to build something in the AgeTech, and how they can reach out to you for investment, what your investment philosophies are. So truly appreciate your time today on the call with me on this podcast, Pitch, Fund, and Scale, and the CXO Show. So thank you so much for your time.
Anshuman, let me say, this was a great podcast. I love how prepared you were with all the questions, excellent insights into the market. And if anybody wants to learn a little bit more about our products, they can go take a look at joyliving.ai. That's our B2B voice agents for senior living. They can check out joycalls.ai. That's our consumer AI companion on the telephone. And they can also check out joytv.ai for our TV product right here. Right. So thanks for letting me plug that, Anshuman. It's been an awesome time.
Yeah, thank you once again, and all the best to you and to your startup. And you are really solving a big problem. I can very much relate to it with my old mother and old mother-in-law, 83 and 78 kind of a thing. So truly appreciate what you're doing in the age tech, Costin.
Thank you
Bless
so
you.
much, Anshuman. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Take care.
Take care. Bye.